welcome to my channel. Welcome to another showcase breakdown. And we are here at my Palm Hills house build, and this is episode 5. And just to recap what we've done in previous episodes, first episode covered the front main gate there. Next episode I jumped into the carport, followed by the front door, front main entrance area, and then on into the swimming pool, which in a way leads to our next spot that we're going to work on. And this episode, I think I want to concentrate on this area here, the kitchen area. I really like the way this kitchen turned out, and it has a lot of features that I came up with as I was building, just trying to figure out and make things in certain pieces fit and work. So that's the thing that I think is great about not really having a plan when you're building, is sometimes these things create interesting architectural, solutions. It really worked out pretty good. As I said before, this is a house that I built a while ago, and I just wanted to maybe come in and show you each section at a time and how it was built, and do a little let's build it version of the kitchen. First thing I jumped into here is I knew I wanted to have that bar that separated the kitchen to the pool area, and that would go out to what would be like an outdoor barbecue area. I think it'd be great to have a countertop type area for food or drinks that is connected to the kitchen that you could serve on that, or just use, even as a eating table. I know I wanted to use the nice lighter wood tabletops. Just like the look of that, and I think it would fit well with the house, but I also wanted to establish the height of the counter first, which is why I use these cafe counters here. It's just to drop in so I could gauge the level, because I wanted the higher type bar counter rather than the lower one. So I use these essentially as just a measuring tool to see where I would then set my wood countertops. Next thing I wanted to do is I wanted to make a built-in barbecue, and I'm just going to use my usual method, which is a combination of things, which is one of the barbecue pieces, and I inset that into one of the cafe counters with the built-in buffet trays or whatever. It fits in pretty well size-wise, and it just gives it a little extra detail around the edge with the framing of the barbecue. And then from there, I will add in some flame, just so it has more of a barbecue in use look to it. this instance, while building, it did work out pretty well for me in regards to the layout of the house. It wasn't on purpose, but the fact that this large kitchen piece, which I've mentioned before, that at least on the PlayStation, this is the only clean kitchen piece that I have, and I'm kind of forced to use this and the color. But I think it works pretty well in this instance, and it fits nicely in that corner there and allows me to add in the fridge but still have this bar here on the end. And then the other thing I wanted to do, mainly the way the prefab kitchen piece fit in there, I thought it would be great to have a kitchen window, so when you're at the sink you can look out and still see like the pool and the view. And thought I could do that by just adding some wall pieces and maybe find some kind of window piece to add in there and build or kind of frame around it. What I decided to do is actually use the prefab stone wall piece, which had a window that, lucky for me, was pretty much the size and shape that I needed. So I didn't have to come up with some odd, unique framing system for that. So I dropped that in and then had to recenter it because I did want to have it centered more over the sink, and was able to do that. And then I would then figure out a way to fill up or cover the rest, which is always an issue when you're doing stuff like this. You're not able to adjust the size necessarily, and if you want to arrange it, like in this case with this window, I needed to slide it over, but by doing so there's gaps on either side, so then it's just a matter of filling it with more stone wall. And if the stone wall piece is too big, then you have to think of something to fill that gap. So in this instance, I was thinking, some kind of pole or post, and then you have to go into your build objects, I guess, and start looking around for something that might be around that size that you could put in there that would make some kind of sense. So sometimes you got to be pretty creative trying to find something the right size that will work in that area to fill that gap. And it doesn't always work so great, but I think in this case it did work out to my advantage and still stay within the theme of the house and look like it was actually meant to be built like that. And in this case, I just used some of these corner pieces, put them together to fill that gap area that also has a texture and color that goes along with, once again, the front entrance, the front gate area, and the front door posts, and even some of the water feature over by the swimming pool. So once again, it ties in with the rest of the house, but I was also able to find something to fill that gap and make it look like it's supposed to be there. Now with the kitchen lights, I like the look of these lights, but I always think they hang down too low. And so I just have to use the Quappa tool and inset them into the ceiling just a little bit more, just to give a little more headroom, head height. So when you're walking around, you don't feel like you're gonna walk into this light. So already you can see it's a pretty cool established look how the kitchen and the pool barbecue area are separated by that bar counter. So it works on both sides, kitchen side and barbecue side, which is what I wanted to do, is kind of use that to separate the spaces from the outdoor to the indoor. And at the same time, it just looks cool as a feature. And then to also divide the kitchen from the stairs going downstairs, I just added in this fence piece from the miscellaneous fences, which I think works great for a kind of see-through wall type thing, and then just added the stone wall up to it to make it look like more of a wall divide. Then I also wanted to keep with the theme and keep using the light wood for the countertops. And also use these cool dark dressers from the Neon Apartment Creation Club. These objects are pretty cool front and back. They have a cool texture to them. They're dark, so they fit pretty well with the theme I'm going in this house. So you'll see I use these a lot for furniture pieces, but also use them as other objects to fill spaces and things like that. So I really like these pieces a lot and use them quite a bit. And I think overall, once they're put together with the light wood countertops and then the dark textured dresser type drawer things underneath, really makes it pop and fits in pretty good with the whole color scheme of the kitchen. which works to my advantage, like I said, because I only have one choice with that blue. Now that I have my kitchen pretty much established, as far as the space goes, just want to add in some of the details, maybe a beer tap over on the counter, dividing the barbecue area on the kitchen, the sink, and then adding in some more details. This little furnace chimney thing here, I think would look great on the back here, and maybe give the idea that it's maybe some kind of exhaust here for the stove and kitchen area. Also, the Slocum's Joe Creation Club objects here has this cool little coffee counter piece type thing, and I've used this quite a bit. I like to inset it down into the counter so you don't see the rest of the Slocum's Joe's thing. It has the coffee makers up top and has a little espresso container and some cups. So that works out pretty good to fill the space rather quickly without having to place a ton of separate objects. I also decided to put a little island here in the kitchen just to fill some of the space, because this is quite a large area. It's going to be a larger house, more open concept, so I do need to figure out ways to fill the space so it doesn't seem so empty. So I definitely wanted to do the island in the middle, and of course I wanted to do that the same as the counters. So using the light wood and then using some of the neon apartment dressers for the texture in the dark color. And I thought it might be cool here to also use some of these other tabletop objects here from the neon apartment to have kind of like this little eating area extending off the edge of the island, which I thought would just split up this island rather than just being one solid wood, type island. was adding these just because of the height of this island here. These neon apartment tables here that are sticking out. They don't go all the way to the ground, and I was trying to think of what I wanted to do to fill that gap down below. I decided to use an extra piece of that and just move it down. However, I didn't want it to stick all the way through to the lower level because I was going to build down there, so I don't want this part of the table sticking down. So I laid it in, and luckily it didn't really protrude through the bottom, so I was going to go with it. And it looks good too because it looks like it's meant to be built that way, which works to my advantage. Not a whole lot of options with the whole stool thing as far as color goes, but I thought these bright green ones might pop pretty cool in the kitchen with the blue there and also with the black, so I think they look pretty cool. Now, once the kitchen was done, I thought I wanted to have some kind of dividing wall separating the kitchen from the rest of the house. I didn't want to close the kitchen in, but I did want to have some kind of wall that, separates these sections, and also at the same time kind of give it the idea or the look that it is a supporting wall in some way, because this is such a large open build that I think I do need some walls holding up. My original ideas, I thought it might be cool to have a huge giant feature piece, and I thought this WRVR roof sign might be a cool divider in the house, and I tried putting that in, but it was just way too big for what I was going for, so it's not going to work. I might try that in another build if I have something on a larger scale, but I thought it would be cool as a wall separation thing, but like I said, it was just way too big, so I had to go with a different idea, and I just decided to go with these cool white slatted wall pieces, which you can see through but also gives the illusion of a wall, not a solid wall but something there. So I thought those actually worked out pretty good, and I wanted to use the white to continue that clean look through the house. And overall, I think that probably worked out better than my initial plan of doing the huge sign separation thing. And to give it more of a finished look and to kind of continue on with, say, what I used for some of the windows in the outer section of the house, I wanted to use some of these end table things or short tables and put those down below and give it more of a base rather than just nothing there on the floor. So It gives it a stronger base and also makes it look more like it's, constructed there in the house. Okay, so that concludes the kitchen build. I think it turned out great. I really like it, and I think it fits in well with the house. It fits in with the theme, and I was able to use a lot of the materials that I've been using throughout the house. So like I said, the front gate, the pool feature, the walls, the windows, the roof, like everything is all tying in. Even elements of the carport are also tied in here to this little kitchen build here. So that's kind of what I'm going for with all of this build, is to make it all seem like one cohesive build. As far as this episode goes, we will call this one done. We will add this issue to our shelf, and we will see you on the next build. I'm not quite sure what that will be, but I will definitely jump into one of these and show you how I did that. But as far as this one goes, I will cut it out here and hope to see you then. So thanks for watching. Thanks for stopping by. And until next time, keep building.